All right, welcome everybody. I'm Chun. This is the last lesson. This is episode 65, and this is help is on the way, or maybe we should say Leia, help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. All right, so I want to a little storytelling, and I want to give a little sense of hope to all those who are training in Wing Chun and find the difficulty that occurs. But this difficulty in being good in Wing Chun that exists in everything else that anyone does, whether you want to be maybe you want to be a doctor, maybe you want to be whatever, a chef, maybe you want to be a basketball player, right? The concept of help is on the way, and let me tell the story as far as how things go about. I honestly believe, okay, that when you have a goal, you have a target, and the energy overall is good, right? Remember, energy, good or bad, attracts whatever, okay? So if it's good energy, you'll attract more good, right? If it's bad energy, it's always bad. I recall a while ago, I remember one of my students said, this is a while ago, I can't remember. He was like, well, don't you ever have that situation where you have friends that, are like that and so forth? I was like, I thought about it. I was like, no, I don't. I don't because I don't attract those kind of people around me, right? Everyone for the most part, the closest towards me have a certain amount of similar energy as me. So if someone has, not that I don't hang out with someone with bad energy, but for the most part, even if the bad energy comes, is the bad energy isn't used to my energy, and then even when we interact, it's like everything's good between the two of us, but the bad energy just like this feels weird. Everything's too happy here, and they go about their way. So the point of the story is if your goal is whatever it is, and you have the good energy behind it, that somehow, some way, the universe, as vast as it is, will find a way. Like life will find a way to help you out. That's the reality of it. So back in 90, 91, I think, let me tell a story about this. 91, the thing that changed me was I was in the Taekwondo tournament, and I lost that tournament. And I lost the tournament to a guy who was, I call him, basically he was like Frodo, man. He was way shorter than me, stumpier than me, badder, not so good in Taekwondo. But after, the second or third match, I was exhausted. I fought him. And every time I closed a gap or tried to kick, he would close a gap in me. And I actually lost that tournament. And that made me rethink exactly how I was training or looked at the art. So eventually, long story short, I found Wing Chun. And in 1991, I found Wing Chun. And after a slew of other martial arts as well. And I was like, wow, Wing Chun's great. And to give you an idea, back then I was like 70-30 was my shift. I don't even know how I shifted 70-30. I can't even recall how I exactly shifted 70-30. Anyway, I knew Wing Chun was good, but it wasn't perfect. There were some things that didn't make sense to me, and for whatever reason, I didn't freaking do footwork like that because it just felt awkward as hell. And so the search began, and I appreciate that from my first teacher. He was open. This is what I can teach you, and that's great. If that's what you can teach me, he says, go seek out other teachers, masters, and that's what I did. I went to see other teachers from the span of like 93, 94, seminar after seminar, and then I would see many famous masters along the way, or teachers along the way as well. And then eventually, at that time, I still, I was still struggling, right? I mean, if I could, I have my old videotapes of me with cheese on. It was god awful. It's god awful. A lot of muscle, and then and practicing on a regular basis and stuff like that. But my point is, I really wanted to get good in Wing Chun. I just didn't know how. And I kept constantly searching for it and looking for it. And different teachers would come about. And I had my energy eventually meshed with Sifu's energy. And then at that point, by 2000, think about it. These are, if you really think about it, in this world that we live in the vast universe, you find someone from a distance who actually messaged with you that you never even knew existed at some particular point in time. And then through that, eventually I started studying with him directly in 2000, or from the seminar, and then from then on, right, to this very day, you know, I still train with Sifu. He helped me along the way to understand the art, right? I didn't know that such a person exists, right? You know, you're thinking there is someone there, but how exactly will I go about finding him, or how will he help me? It's basically your energy. You put it out there, we'll find that same kind and attract it towards you. Okay, so in the long run, I know a lot of people still, I think, struggle in this world to find Wing Chun. And I'm just saying, keep working on it, keep trying. And here's the thing, just having your energy is not enough. If your energy is there, you're just, I'm going to sit home, and then I'm going to have good thoughts, and then hopefully a beautiful girl will come to me. There's got to be an effort and a sacrifice put into it in order for you to get there. You can't just randomly wait for the world to come down on you. There's got to be an effort put in forth for you. But the reality is, if you do have that goal, you have that drive, you have that energy, someone somewhere will help you along the way to get there. It's always the case. It's always the case. And if you're open-minded and look around, they'll be there to help you out. Okay, so I know Wing Chun is difficult, especially in a lot of places that don't have teachers available. But hopefully, you know, even with these videos and stuff like that, this will give you a guide to help you along your way. All right.